So I'm out on a Jeep camping weekend with Super Wheelie Overland, and we're on a paved road right now in between service roads out near Pisgah National Forest. And I figured I'd just do a quick video on why I chose a XJ over another type of Jeep. My buddy up here in front of me, he's got TJ, my girlfriend has a TJ, and at first when I was looking at Jeeps, that's what I wanted, but the more I went out on the trails, my eye kept being drawn to the XJs that were out there, and the more I looked into it, I realized that that was probably what I wanted. And it was for a few reasons. One, I like the way they look. Obviously, they're cheaper. They're the poor man's Jeep, whatever. I don't even care about that. But I like the modifications that can be done to it. I like that everything's readily available, and it is in the TJ too. But I was really drawn to the fact that it was utility for me. And other than just being able to keep up with other Jeeps, able to haul stuff in this, I can bring, you know, when we go camping, I'm the one that brings a ton of wood because I can fit it in the back here, and we can burn all night and the next morning with the amount of wood that I can haul in this thing and all my gear. So that really is a big plus for me, the utility side of it, as well as when I was moving, I can throw stuff in the back of it. If I go somewhere or I'm back here in the country and I find something really cool that's big, I can, you know, throw that in the side of here. And then the other big thing was too, because we started getting into camping around that time, I can sleep in this, and even without the modifications that I've done to this, I can lay down the back seat like my other buddy did, because he hasn't done any modifications to his interior. But when we went camping last month, he could just lay down his back seat, sleep corner to corner, and be really comfortable. And then beyond that, when I wanted to start to get into cross-country stuff, I had a lot more space available to me. So the way I have it set up now, I've got my platform bed on one side, and my buddy in front of me, he has to change outside of his vehicle, and tonight it's going to be raining, so we'll put a tarp up. But you got to change outside of your vehicle. There's not a whole lot of space inside. I can sit on the other side of the Jeep. I can stretch out. I can change. I can do everything in the comfort inside my Jeep. Yeah, you have to, you know, bend over, and there's not a whole lot of ceiling room. Obviously, I can't stand, but I can completely sit up. I can completely stretch out and clear the whole back of this out and put everything up front here overnights, and it's just really useful. So that was pretty much the main reason why I got it. I wanted something that when I did these overland trips or when I did cross-country trips, you know, I could just park at a rest stop if I wanted to. I could just park at a truck stop. I could pull over the side of the road. I don't have to set up anything. I never have to really exit the vehicle other than to just crawl in the back, and that I can do from right here if I really wanted to, if I didn't really want to be seen. But and then, you know, going back to going out on trails, I mean, everyone that I go out on trails with, they're not hardcore, and because this is my daily driver, I'm not going to be doing any hardcore rock crawling or put myself in a position where I can, you know, turn this over, flip it, and I've already done that a couple of times actually. You know, I can keep up with everybody else and still have all this space in here, and so when I do go out on my trip next year, I can, you know, see the side roads and just go out and, you know, keep up with anybody else that can go out on those trails, and at the same time pull over and sleep inside of it. So that's a big plus for me, and so that's pretty much it. But like I said, I was just drawn to it. And as far as JK go, it wasn't even in the cards for me. I'm not a big JK fan, and you know, to each his own. I don't see spending that amount of money on a vehicle that, one, I don't like the way it looks, and two, I don't care for them in general. And you know, I could get a new one tomorrow if I wanted to, but it's not something that I want to do. It's not my thing, and I've always liked the old school look of these Cherokees, and you know, they're easy to work on. Yeah, man. So there's Super Wheelie Overland up ahead of me. That was the one that's talking to me. So we're about to pull over and figure out our next move. So for him to sleep in his, he ended up taking his passenger seat out and putting a bed along the whole right-hand side. And he's got a really cool setup. But for me, I was able to, you know, go cross-country with my brother-in-law. We, you know, both rode in this thing. He slept in a tent. I slept in the back of this. Technically, we both could have slept in the back of this if we wanted to. Wouldn't have been real comfortable, but it's possible if things were, if we got in a tight situation, you know, as far as where we needed to stay and just resting. But, you know, it goes back to me for the utility part of it. I can have passengers, I can sleep in the back of it, I can haul stuff in it, and it's a big bonus. It's cheap. I've got 3 of them. So the most expensive I spent on one of them was $2,400. Put a lift kit on it, and I've got something that I can take out on the trails and have fun with if I wanted to. But you know, it works for me. I'm not knocking anybody else's vehicles. I think the TJs are awesome. It's just not utility enough for me. And JKs, I mean, they're great vehicles as well. And even though it's not my thing, there's a lot of people out there, way more so probably than XJs, that really like, you know, those types of vehicles. So you know, it's up to each individual person to go with what they want. That's the reasons why I like my XJ, and I'll continue to keep driving this particular one. I'm gonna drive this as long as I possibly can. I love this thing. I've got a lot of time and money invested in this one, and it just works. And the more I check out other people's vehicles and what they've done and the costs associated with it, I'm sold on my XJ. So it's a good thing too, because I really don't want to start all over again. But anyway, that's just you know, my long drawn out reasons as to why I have an XJ. But you know, leave your comments and suggestions below. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and thanks for watching.